You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein. With me, as always, is...
Josh Schaefer.
And...
Becky Finkelstein.
I got the names right, even if it was the wrong people. So that's good enough right there. So today we were going to talk about Borderlands. Right. That was what we were going to talk about.
Lands with borders.
The lands and the lands that border them.
So the Mexican-American War.
Yes. Which one? So the 1850s?
Yeah, right before Civil War.
Yeah. And then remember the Alamo and Texas keeping their slaves.
That was
and all
a different one.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Your historian is showing.
Josh, zipper that.
So small.
That's true. You
And angry.
I was gonna say you don't have a degree in it, so it is small. It's not like a well-developed historian.
No. It's more of a casual historian. A micro historian, if you will.
Oh.
Yes. Womp womp. Okay, so Borderlands, which my wife and I are obsessed with because we really enjoy those games. At least the first two. First two we really enjoyed. Josh,
Yes.
where are you with the Borderlands games? When did you start playing them?
Before you did, I got you in on them.
Snap.
That's right, you did, didn't you?
I did.
And
And you're
then-
like, I don't want to play any of this white trash garbage.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't say that.
I think I just
I was trying to...
lamented the fact that they were shooter games.
Yeah.
Because I suck at shooter games.
Well, I mean, you can suck at that game and be good at it.
Yeah, that's true. You don't really have to be all that great at Borderlands to be able to play it. Although I got astonishingly pretty good at that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
bar
think
for entry is low, and then you improve over time.
Yeah. But
So-
I'm a fan of 1 and 2.
Of 1 and 2. I think that's the problem that we'll get into, is that pretty much the series starts and ends for most of us with 1 and 2.
Yep.
Yeah, because the first one is interesting. The first one is basically like Mad Max, but if you put magic into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot more comedy and less racist Australians.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of comedy in Mad Max if you view it the right way, but it is mostly racist Australian comedy. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly an ideal portion of the Borderlands series is the fact that there's no Mel Gibson in it.
Yeah. That's the biggest draw for me.
Yeah. also, the reason why Fury Road is so good is because there's no Mad Max, or no
There's a Mad Max in it.
There's a Mad. Is there though? All I remember is Furiosa and then Bane.
It's true.
Bane.
Brr.
You know, everyone complained about the fact that Bane was incomprehensible, but you watch him in pretty much anything else, and that dude is just weirdly voiced and incomprehensible in everything. It's just who he is.
I didn't have an issue with listening to Bane. I don't understand.
No, he's got a weird accent.
Yeah, it's called not being American.
Like, I don't know where this is coming from. I understood him just fine.
Everyone else in that movie was incomprehensible, but Bane was clear as day.
But see, that's the thing. Like, if someone talks to me normally, I can barely understand them.
But you put a mask on and you talk in a weird, high-pitched, mush-mouth British accent, and suddenly...
Crystal clear.
Makes sense to me.
So the first Borderlands, who do you play?
Roland.
Why?
Because I like turrets.
What kind of build did you do on your turret character?
I usually did. I can't remember what the specific was called, but the medic build, I think it was.
Yeah. Is that the first tree you went for? So it'd keep you alive while it was firing off?
So I could just
Hide
throw
behind the shield.
Yeah, I could just throw one down and do something else and get XP for it and come back and loot the bodies.
There you go.
Yeah.
What'd you play, Becky?
Well, I first started out with the Siren, and then I tried
Mordecai?
Mordecai.
Oh, he was so cool.
Hunter.
Yeah, it was Mordecai the Hunter
Okay.
with his bird.
Yeah, because, oh my god, familiars.
You do like familiars. People with wings and familiars, and that was a bit of both.
Oh, yeah.
It's-
Oh, we need to talk about Diablo 3 at some point. Anyway.
Ooh, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can talk all day about that one, too.
Me too.
Because it's basically Borderlands, but not a shooter.
Yeah.
Or really, Borderlands is Diablo 3, but a shooter.
Yeah.
So Mordecai, who did you prefer between the two? Did you like Mordecai or did you like the Siren better?
And this is my difficulty with things. I like them for different reasons. Like playing Lilith, right?
Yeah, Lilith was the Siren in the first one.
Who's the fourth one? I can't remember. Was it Brick?
Brick.
Okay.
That no one played.
Oh,
No, I
right.
do know people that played as Brick.
I couldn't do it.
He's not interesting. Like there are later in the game series, there's melee characters like the Psycho that are interesting, that can like revive themselves when they get into trouble and do all kinds of cool stuff. But Brick was just not interesting to me. It's like I wander around and I punch things as my superpower. It was dumb.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I mean, it was was their first game too.
But the other three characters are brilliant.
Yeah, but Brick he's a brick.
House.
Literally.
Bricks are
He's
not
mighty.
interesting,
They
but
all hang out.
sometimes that's what makes him lovable, like Mr. Torg. I mean, he does have personality.
I would say
though.
if they made Mr. Torg a playable character in the third game, I would play the crap out of him.
Oh my god.
Not because he'd be any good, he would suck.
Oh, yeah.
But like just to hear all his quips while he's running around.
Yeah. So I segued because I wanted to give Becky some time to think. We're going to need an answer on Mordecai versus Lilith.
Oh heck.
But
Dang.
But what?
was that the segue? And now
No,
we're
you-
looking.
No, yeah, that was
I
the
thought you had
force-
more.
Mordecai was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like Mordecai because you actually get a familiar. That's always nice. And
Yeah,
I like Mordecai. He's kind of
he's your guy in that game.
well, he's not really a squeeze for me. He's too hairy. I don't know. I like his hair though.
Okay.
And here we come back to liking hair and then liking
Yep,
the
that's
character.
that.
But
We established that in the previous podcast. Look at that.
He does have like that dirty hippie look, though.
He does.
Yeah.
Like
I love him.
It's the dirty part that like,
Yeah.
you expect that the smell of bong water just falls around him the whole time. Yeah, it just looks like
yeah.
that.
Like I
Yeah.
like him a
Bong water and
little.
bird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him a little, off the beaten path, but not that
Yeah.
off the path.
I mean, my personal favorite, as you well know, is the Siren. I thought this, but I think it's partially because the Siren is just broken in that game. She's delightfully broken. Because once you get, especially once you start building up her various trees, she'll go into her phase walk, and then she'll just run around really quickly, which is super useful if your car brakes blows up, because then you can just run fast and leave all your friends in the dust, which I would do repeatedly because it's funny.
It was super
Hysterical.
funny.
Which I
Wasn't
would do
annoying
to
at
you.
all.
No, it wasn't annoying to you the 3 or 4 times I decided
Nope.
to drive right towards a cliff and drive off and
Yeah.
bail out and watch
Yeah, it
you
wasn't-
sail over the edge.
That wasn't annoying at all.
No, but I love the Siren because of her running ability and just going into phase walk and running between the enemies and laying them all on elemental damage, because the elemental damage in the first game is way broken.
Oh yeah.
It goes on there and it doesn't go away, and you can have multiple elemental types just burning a character down, and then you just sit back behind the wall and just watch them all die. Fantastic. Loved that in that game. So I think she was my favorite, although I played through with all the characters except for Brick, because Brick was boring.
I tried to play Brick, but
I did enough of Brick to get the achievement for him so I could 100% the game, and then I stopped, because not worth it. Nah. So, but the sequel, Borderlands 2,
which was vastly superior.
in some respects.
Yeah, I think it added a bit of richness to the story.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, because they're just adding more to it.
Well, and
But
Borderlands 1 didn't really have a story. It's go collect these 7 pieces for the vault, and then you're done. It's a glorified fetch quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they did more with the characters this time around.
I mean, I was certainly sad that they didn't let you play as the previous characters in the second game, especially since I wanted a good Siren, because I didn't really get into Maya.
Yeah, I like
Maya
Lilith
was
better.
okay. Yeah.
Her phase blast was interesting, but it didn't have the utility that the phase walk from the Lilith had.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah.
Zero was cool.
Yeah, Zero was cool. He was my first one I tried to play, but he was too squishy for
Yeah.
me. And
he's very squish.
I'm not the type of player that likes to hang back for long periods of time and
Well,
snipe.
you
Yeah.
can't when you're playing with me.
Yeah,
That's part of the
exactly.
problem.
Well,
played,
that's that.
I played the Siren too much, so I got used to, oh, hey, look, there's enemies, and running right into the pack. So, and then I'm dead, laying there on the ground because I ran right into the pack. And suddenly you have to get up from your nice hidey hole and come save my ass. That's what happened every time.
There's that, and even though the assassin had Zero had that weird little phase thing where he duplicates. And
It was only 5 seconds.
Yeah, it
I
was.
thought that was too.
Yeah,
it was way too short.
It wasn't the bailout safety maneuver that it was for the Siren in the first game. Like,
Yeah.
she got 30 seconds or so, and that was fantastic. But you get into trouble with Zero and try to phase away from him, and nothing. 5 seconds was just not nearly enough time to be able to actually get yourself out of a jam in that game.
So One
10
Life says,
seconds.
too.
Yeah. 10 seconds would have been better. So.
Yeah, but then the Necromancer came about. And,
Oh, she's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
She
It's
is
all about
Ga-
the psycho.
Gadget or whatever.
No, Gage.
Gage.
Yeah.
Gage
Gage,
the
yeah.
Necromancer with her bot. I can't remember. There's a specific name for the bot. I can't remember what it was.
Killbot.
Steve Buscemi.
Yes, Steve Buscemi.
I don't know. I really don't
No,
know.
there's actually a specific name for it, but we're going to call it Steve Buscemi. So yeah,
Buscemi
so
bot.
Gage and the Buscemi bot were great.
Yeah, but yeah, Josh. Josh and his psycho.
I love this
Which,
Psycho.
I mean, it seemed like your kind of character, like,
Oh,
even
yes,
in the
it's
first game.
It's super ADHD for me.
Honestly, once I picked up the Psycho and started playing him, like I played the Siren all the way through on the 2 playthroughs of the game, and she was okay. And then I played the Commando, who gets basically he's basically the soldier but on overdrive because he gets the turrets that fire bullets and missiles, and then you can throw down 2 of them, and it's just broken. He is fantastic. Like I could almost solo without even like any special weapons, just because of the turrets. I could basically solo the big end boss.
Oh,
Not Bunker.
Cthulhu.
Basically the giant like creeper
Yeah.
thing that would like throw its tentacles and everything, whatever it was called. I can't remember what it was. It's the game's second version of Cromarax.
Yeah.
I could almost solo that creature with him because he was just so powerful with those turrets. I couldn't get into Zero, and then I went on to Necromancer Gage, and her killbot was great. Although I didn't find her to be as useful for the way I play. I really like the Commando better in that respect.
She was more of a hangback.
She is.
Yeah.
I mean, like the producers of the game, as mean as this term is, they did call it girlfriend mode. Basically, you give it to someone who doesn't know how to play, and then let them wander around while you go off and shoot everything.
I greatly enjoyed it.
But then I picked up the Psycho because you said he was so much fun, and oh my god, he is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. At first, it's like, this is going to be stupid. He hits himself. Why? Because it makes him stronger.
I mean, at the start, he's weak.
Yeah.
And he's hard to play.
Yeah.
But once you get him to the point, like, you get him where he starts being able to revive himself every time he's dead. The second you can start, like, killing people to revive yourself, like, actively by running around and throwing bombs and stuff, Psycho becomes so good.
Yeah.
Crazy good.
Told you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. I fully agree. But I don't play him with you because we don't need 2 psychos running around.
No, that's way too much overkill.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, and we'd be stealing each other's kills, and...
My favorite thing to do is when it's like, oh, there's all these guys, I'm going to kill myself, then blow myself up.
and then kill a bunch of them in the process. Oh, fantastic. You love it.
A good, was the Shield of the Phoenix or whatever?
Yeah, Flame of the Firehawk.
Yeah, Flame of the Firehawk. Put one of those on you.
That one's good, but it was the one that came later. I don't remember if it's called the Heartbreaker or something. It's the one where it blows a nova when the shield runs out, and then it blows a nova again when your health runs out.
Oh.
Because that's the good one.
Yeah.
Like, when you die as a psycho, you throw a grenade, the nova goes off, the grenade explodes, double damage, and then you're back up and running again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Loved that one.
Oh, the Psycho.
Oh, the Psycho's so much fun.
And the little story between the Psycho and Maya.
How he's in love with her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
That was
so
amusing.
sweet.
And I did like that because it felt like they were really building plot lines between all the characters in the second game. There's a lot of background stuff in the second game. As far as the actual gameplay itself is concerned, I kind of liked the tightness of the first game better.
Yeah. I wish it had the playability of the first one because the second one gets kind of... I always hit a lull with it when it just gets kind of like, all right, I'm done.
Well, you've seen this. You've seen what Handsome Jack has to offer by the for the 5th time, and you're just like, okay, I've seen this. Can we just get to the shooting parts and stop with the plot line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's no way to skip. That's helpful.
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
It's a bit much. I mean, I did appreciate that when you start playing through third playthrough, they cut the whole introductory section and just drop you right where like drop you past all the claptrap stuff because that was obnoxious. But it's still. There's a lot of fluff in the early acts of the game that you don't want to have to see again and again.
Well, for me, I remember in the second game, the first game is you're just there to get loot and be vault
It's shallow.
hunters, and it's very shallow. And the second game, I remember I didn't take it very seriously because it's Borderlands. Until Handsome Jack does that thing with Mordecai's. Bloodwing.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Yeah, and I'm like, when that happened, it's like, oh, he's bad.
Well, I mean, the Bloodwing death is good in the story, and it makes sense, and it's not something that bothers me. When he kills Roland, though, who played through the entire first game, able to revive himself every time he dies. And you're like, okay, but now it's permanent? How does that work? Because if Handsome Jack can shut off anyone's death, like you assume he does with Roland, then why can't he shut off all of yours in the process too? It's a plot point that doesn't make sense.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I never understood that either.
Now,
It's like, why doesn't he just... It's the same thing like what we talked about with Final Fantasy VII with
Aerith,
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 Art.
Art,
So they have Phoenix Downs that I literally have
the ability to revive someone from the dead.
revives, but
Well, but isn't it established in like one of the Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy IV or something? You're not dead, you're in swoon.
I don't know. I don't.
I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy IV calls it swoon and not dead.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in continuity that they're not actually dead when they die. They're just like unconscious. Because it's kind of the D&D thing where once you run out of health, you
Yeah.
go unconscious for a little while. I think they're
That
trying to
makes
imply
sense.
that Aerith's death, Airq's death is the is that she gets stabbed through the heart and you can't actually bring her back because she's not swooned, she's actually dead. So that would be my thought on the matter.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So Borderlands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the download DLCs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The expansions were pretty cool.
Bunkers
except
and badasses.
Oh, the RPG one where you basically played the D&D with your characters. I love that one.
it was a brilliant. I played that through like 3 or 4 times. 100 maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
With our favorite Tiny Tina.
Oh,
Tiny Tina's
Tina.
my favorite. She deserves every Oscar that's ever been made.
Yeah, I recently played through like the whole game just again. And when we were doing the expansions, I'm like, okay, all these expansions suck. We're just gonna go do the RPG one, and then we'll come back and do the rest of these on like second playthrough when they actually matter, because they don't matter right now.
Yeah.
No, you play the RPG one because the RPG one is fantastic.
The other ones were kind of lackluster.
I didn't mind Mr. Torg's Campaign of Carnage.
No, that wasn't bad.
That one was funny.
Yeah, that was
fun
funny.
and funny, but I can't even remember
Was
the
that piratey type?
pirate one, and then
Yeah.
Oh, the pirate one was. Oh,
oh, it's boring. It's
Yeah.
so
And wasn't-
wretchedly bad.
Was that the same one as it was like the nature preserve one?
No, that was the second one was the big game hunt.
Yeah, that one was so boring.
That was
yeah,
boring, too.
that sucked.
Like I literally, when I would play it, would fall asleep while
Yeah.
I'm playing.
No, it was tedious, and it had some of the worst. Both those ones had some of the worst missions and worst achievements possible. They were
Yeah.
tedious. I could not stand them at all. But no, yeah, the last 2 expansions for that game were fun. Well, the big expansions, because they had a bunch of headhunter packs and other
Yeah.
things that came out afterwards, which I didn't care as much. But they were interesting to play. But once you played them, once you're like, okay, I did this. That was fun.
Bye.
Yeah, out.
But I mean, the pretty princess option. I mean, how
Oh, yeah.
many times did you change outfits? I did it like on the regular.
Me too.
Every time you went to town, you changed your outfit.
I did. You
and
know,
your
it was a
head,
new
and had to
day.
do all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Spent hours looking for rare equipment or costume drops.
My sister like fought some of those bosses repeatedly for hours to try and get one of those orange costume drops.
Oh, yeah.
Never happened.
Yeah.
Because the game is mean with how it doles out its oranges.
Yep.
It's one of
That's
the big flaws of the second game is the
Yeah.
fact that it's really stingy with its good
yeah.
drops.
Because I can't remember which. I think it was one of those Psycho Orange drops. I remember you and I
Yeah.
played it for like 6 hours straight. One day I went home and I played it like an entire week and never got that stupid drop.
We were trying to do something on the vault, weren't we?
Yeah.
You wanted the
Yep.
psycho drop off of him for like one of his heads or something. Bunker. It was the bunker.
It was a bunker.
Yeah, you wanted the psycho head, and I was trying to get a specific gun. And we sat there, literally for 6 hours doing that same mission over and over again, and it never dropped.
Yeah. And at the end of it, I think I was getting angry. It's like, this is bullshit.
Yeah. I finally got it to drop, and it dropped on me when I fought the bunker when it happened like when we were level 45.
Ugh.
So it's not even a good version of the
Yeah.
gun.
No. Bull.
Didn't even have an element attached to it. It was just kind of crap. I mean, it was a good gun.
Yeah.
Fantastic gun.
For,
But
like, maybe a couple levels.
yeah, but then like 3 levels later, I'm like, well, chucking this in my box because it's not worth it to me anymore.
Yeah.
Doop, 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 doop. Yeah, so that was
Ugh.
kind of annoying. I preferred the drop rate in the first game because you could get the oranges and the pearlescence pretty regularly,
I
and
didn't have pearlescence and.
I got a couple. I got them from Cromorax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fighting Cromorax in the first game was fun if you had a siren.
I was like in the second one. Did they have pearlescent ones?
I think they do. They do have
I don't remember seeing any.
They do have pearlescence. I think the pearlescence only come about if you get the crystals. The spending crystals, the
yeah.
shards, and you can only do those. They originally said you could only get them if you did specific missions in the expansions, And then when they put out the Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, they then said that you only get them in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode from fighting the special raid bosses. So most of us were never going to get them.
Yeah, I don't care about the game that much.
No, I've never managed to make it through Ultimate Vault Hunter mode because it's mean.
Yes.
It's for people who have, well, they're 12, and they have 3 friends they can play with, and they can God mode every game because they're just so good at shooters. I'm never going to be that good at a shooter game.
Yeah.
No. So that's just how that is. But once we get past the second game, there's then 2 more games that we don't really talk about because I don't think any of us can really play through them.
Speaking of guns, favorite brand of gun?
Oh, from the Borderlands games?
The first game I don't think was meh.
They
but
really
the
didn't.
second,
The only one that had any special things in the first game was like Malawan. Malawan
Yeah.
games would have elements. Everything else was basically the same.
so yeah, Borderlands 2.
Borderlands 2. Those are the ones that actually matter. Josh?
Oh, Becky asked. She goes first.
Oh, no,
she asked a question.
I
One
asked
of us
the
has to
question.
answer.
I'm going to say Torque.
Torg?
Torque. Did I say Torque?
Torque.
Twerk.
I was in my head thinking, don't say Torque.
And then
Don't
you
say Torque. And I said Torque. And
so you like the Torque guns, huh?
I like the Torque ones. They're my favorites.
Is that the one where you shake your booty? The Torque
Yeah.
guns? Yeah.
Yeah, you twerk them. That's the claptrap version.
Yeah, no, it's the ones with the slow bullets that explode.
Yep. I like
Yep.
those.
And sometimes explode when you throw them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing to do is when I'm out of ammo and I just throw it and then the dude's head explodes.
That's TDR.
That's
Oh.
TDRs are the ones that you throw because they're disposable guns and they regenerate
that's
a new
right.
version. The Torg ones are the ones that have the
Which ones have the
special-
missile bullets?
That's Torg.
Yeah, I like those too.
Oh, the gun that shoots swords that explode.
Oh, that's my favorite gun.
That was a Torg
Yeah.
shotgun,
Yeah.
I believe.
That was
Yeah.
a Torque shotgun.
For the most part, like I have a specific build out I like to build, but I want my combat rifle and my SMG to be Hyperion because I love Hyperion guns. I will usually take because even though it doesn't have an element to it, I will take a Jacobs sniper rifle because they're overpowered.
yeah.
And
They're
then,
the best snipers.
and then I will usually take a Jacobs pistol because I do not mind the quick flicks of the button to like fire it
Yeah.
like a 6-shooter. Love them, and you get an orange one of those, and it reloads like super fast. Love those two. And then I will not tend to use much of anything else. Those are my 4 guns. So I'll have whatever's randomly sitting there for my rocket launcher and my shotgun, but I really don't ever use either of them. I'm more concerned at that point with getting a decent shield, which usually Flame of the Firehawk or the Heartbreaker, I think is what it's called if I can get them. And if not one of those, trying to decide what I really prefer. I think I prefer, as far as shields are concerned, the Nova shields just in general.
Yeah.
I like those. But then grenades are tough. I think I like all my homing grenades that like drop and spray, whatever those ones. I think they're usually Malawans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Becky, since you asked the question.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Malawans most. But really, and I don't even know if I can stick to a certain brand, but the rocket launchers, I love either close range or sniping with a rocket launcher.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
have
they're more-
seen you really love the Torg rocket launchers just because
Okay.
you fire off like 8 rockets and then you just
Yeah.
chuck the grenade launcher at them.
Yeah, and like I think rocket launchers, I mean, they're kind of mid to long distance range, but I really like sniping with them though, because
It's
I feel like that takes some kind of skill with a freaking rocket
It does.
launcher.
But
Because
usually
they're
because
not accurate.
No, they aren't, and they have a bit of recoil to them too after you fire them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but moving on from there, if we're all in agreement there.
Fine.
Well, no, it's fine.
I'm joking,
Okay,
I'm joking.
here. Who's your favorite character in Borderlands 2? Because I kind of already said my preferred ones, and you're the Psycho. Mm-hmm. Is that the only one you ever play at this point?
No, I played the
Necromancer.
Necromancer. And I think that's about it.
Okay. And Becky?
The midget with the guns.
Oh, yeah,
the
Gunzerker.
I'm just joking. I can't remember his name. I just really wanted to say midget with the guns.
I
No offense to any LPs that may be listening.
No, I mean that's pretty much what he is. Everyone comments about the fact that he's super short, but I've been playing through him recently, and he's actually more fun than I gave him credit for.
Really?
He really
I could never get past the first 10 levels with him.
No, once you get past and you unlock his powers and start doing other stuff, he's crazy good with his ammo regen, and he starts regenerating health just constantly when he's in Gunzerk and everything. He is crazy good if you can get his proper build out.
That's cool.
I'm playing through third mode right now with him, and he's almost self-sustaining. So I think if you paired him up with a Psycho, it would be a crazy amount of damage.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Who do you want to play? Because I know you've played multiple. Is it Necromancer?
Yeah, I think she's the best just because, I do like just taking it easy and being able to just, go in like, oh yeah, my bot's gonna help out.
Girlfriend mode.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel the Commando is. You throw those two turrets out and you let it girlfriend mode for
It's
you.
boyfriend mode.
It can be whatever it is. I'll still do it. Those two turrets are hot.
We could just call it easy mode.
It's gender neutral. It can be whatever it wants. No judgment here. I'm still with it. Yeah. So I know we all tried to play the pre-sequel when it came out.
Yes. I was super excited for it. And
I was too.
immediately not excited for it.
Oh my god, it's so boring.
Yeah, I started playing Athena.
Yeah, the shield thrower.
The shield, I dig her, but God, I don't even think we made it past the first scene.
I don't think so either.
We did make it to the second map, and we just couldn't care. You had her. I had Wilhelm, who had the two bots that come out.
I had Claptrap.
You did. He was hysterical to watch, but he's not fun to play.
Yeah. And he can go upstairs all of a sudden, too, which was...
I know, that's really confusing because he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't understand that at all.
No, and plus...
The story was so bad.
Oh my
it
god.
was, and
Tedious.
I don't tend to be a motion sick kind of person, but that game made me very motion sick.
The weird gravity and the strange colors for it and everything, it just amounted to a really unplayable game.
Yeah. I felt like you just had to walk everywhere.
You did.
No,
there were vehicles, but there was the vehicles could only go so far, and there was a lot of walking and jumping. They really wanted you to use the jump and air boost mechanics to float your way over the moon, and it didn't work.
Nope.
Everything looks the same, and this is coming from someone who really liked Borderlands 1, despite the fact that a lot of stuff looked the same. Everything really looked the same in the second game. It did not come together.
Yeah, and with the air things that you use to both breathe and propel yourself.
I forgot about that.
I think it just added an extra layer of stress that the game did not need.
As long as you were killing guys, they all dropped air canisters constantly, but it's also this thing of, do I leave the air canisters here? Do I pick them up because they're in my way? It's a lot of micromanaging that was just really obnoxious.
Yeah, it's always in the back of your mind of
Didn't Claptrap need the air too?
Yeah,
which
he
didn't
did,
make sense.
which doesn't make sense. Yeah,
bullshit.
There was a lot of dumbness in that game.
I guess if he's gonna propel himself.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to breathe it.
Yeah, no.
No, there was something really weird about that game. It just didn't work. And then they had Tales from the Borderlands, which I didn't bother playing because
I haven't either. I like the Telltale games. I played the Walking Dead one, which was based off the comic book, and that was fun.
I played
and Batman.
I played the first mission of The Walking Dead. I think I got to the neighbor's house after I got freed from the cops or something and found the girl, and there was a whole lot of quick time events, and I kept failing
when they
them.
mismanaged their company to the point where they couldn't pay their developers.
Yeah, and
that was a fun part of the game.
Yeah, the quick time events were just tedious, and I'm just like, I don't want to have to keep trying to press X every time you tell me to, because I just want to play a game. But then QuickTime events are their own problem that I'm suddenly becoming very anti-towards. I really hate them now. Hey, we could make you actually play this game properly, or, just do a QuickTime event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have their place in some games, but sometimes it just is, after the 20-second button combination push, you're just like, all right, I get it.
Yeah. I was really excited to play Tales of the Borderlands, and then I played Walking Dead first right before I got it, and I'm like, I'll just put this on my shelf and probably never touch it. Because I just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make myself play Tales, or at least try to at some point.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sad to see Telltale Games go.
No.
I'm sad for their employees because they got screwed over, but I'm not sad to see the company go because they basically had one game and they released it over and over and over again. So it's the same way I feel about the people behind Knights of the Old Republic. Was that BioWare? Yeah. I played Knights of the Republic. I played the second one. I played Jade Empire. Then I went and I played Dragon Age Origins. And I'm like, I've played this game 3 times before already.
Yeah.
This feels like their one game that they just put a new skin on and make you play it all over again.
Still not as good as Knights of the Old Republic.
No! That game was brilliant, and all the other ones suck.
Yeah.
So supposedly, if the company doesn't go under and mismanage itself, which it does kind of look like Gearbox is having some issues right now.
Well, they decided to do Battleborn the same time that Blizzard was doing Overwatch.
Well, there was that, and then the current president apparently has been embezzling money and like dealing in kiddie porn.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
That is not good.
A couple different things.
I did not know about that.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. So, supposing that somehow or another Gearbox, or at least their IP, continues on towards Borderlands 3, what are you looking for in that game?
I would really love to see customized characters.
So, like,
So I could just be like, I want to play a siren, and then I could just make whatever I wanted to do, more like an MMO than a...
maybe like answer certain questions, and then get like some randomized tracks thrown your way for certain powers or something.
So like you pick a class, but I can pick whatever my costume was, or costumes aren't necessarily limited to siren class. Like I could dress however I wanted to.
So kind of a City of Heroes, where you played a particular type, but you at least got to make it look different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
So.
And like I'm cool, like if you could get like special costume options and whatnot from monsters and bosses, but I don't know, it's just like,
as long as they're not impossible to get.
Well, yeah.
You don't have to fight.
Change the drop rate.
Yeah. You don't have to fight one of those bugs and evolve it like 5 times into the ultimate version, and then maybe on like the 80th time you've done that, possibly get the orange.
Yeah. But I like more like of an MMO type of thing though. So.
Okay. Rebecca.
Yeah, that is interesting. Now that I had time to think and
open world Borderlands with like just
you know, like for example with the siren, you can kind of choose which kind of siren-y power you have. Then again, there are only supposed to be a few.
6.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you were to,
isn't it 7 with Angel?
No, Angel was one of the 6.
Really?
Jack says that he there are only 6 sirens in the world, and he knows of 3 of them.
Oh, I could have sworn it was 7. Oh
nope,
well.
6. He knows of 3 of them. That counts Angel among the mix.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then she dies, so technically there's 4 now that are
This
out
is
in the
like
open.
Buffy, where one dies and one's reborn.
That's what I'm thinking. Is that there's always 6, so someone else is going to become a siren. I hope it's Brick.
And
He's the prettiest siren.
He is the prettiest.
We were all there.
We were.
But yeah, I like that idea. I like more customization. So outside the siren, you know, the commando, kind of deciding what exactly, maybe bring down his overpoweredness somehow.
Well, I mean, they're going to give you different characters. So whatever it is that they do, let's say you have a guy who can throw turrets. Then you get to choose like from a randomized selection of like paths. How those paths, like you can choose 3 paths and they get assigned, and that allows you to then start building your custom. So like a commando would have 10 tracks. You only get to choose 3, and then you have to start spending your points on those 3. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of the open world. I'm hoping that we get to explore multiple worlds in the next one, so it's like border worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe have each one be like a seamless experience instead of how it is right now, where you're in a zone and then you move through a door to get to a new zone that loads. Like if it can just be one open like area, giant puzzle, that giant place that you can just explore end to end, and then teleport yourself to a different planet. That I think would be interesting.
They have the technology for it. I mean, that's what Red Dead Redemption is.
Yeah, just one constant slipstream of content.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, any of the Grand Theft Auto style games are able to do it, so I don't see why like they can't do it with Borderlands.
And if you make an MMO, the universe or galaxy or what have you is big enough that you know, it's not going to be overcrowded or anything.
I mean, as long if they can go the MMO route, quote unquote, so long as I can play it single player and not have to see anyone.
Oh yeah.
Or like my small group of 4. I do not want like a whole ton of people wandering around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
especially douche nozzles that are like, PvP's turned on, bro.
Tobey Maguire edgelords.
Yeah, I like the idea of having all these different Vault hunters able to interact with one another, but I also don't want to be the one to interact with them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing that's missing from the Borderlands games, is that there at least needs to be interaction between the Vault Hunters. Because the first 2 games treat it like, even if you're playing 2-player or 4-player, they're all one guy. Like, the characters all only talk to one of you. And it's a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
It is.
So, it'd be nice if there was like, if you have 4 people in the game, the characters will treat each of you differently. And if you have different personalities or different archetypes you're playing, that the game will actually talk to each of you differently. Of course, it'd also be nice if you could make a commando and then make them a girl.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's what my biggest issue is too, because I feel like Borderlands has a lot of emphasis on equality, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But like, it seems kind of like forced in there because it's like, well, we don't have any girl characters, so let's throw like a bunch of girl characters in there.
Yeah.
You know, so like if you could just be like, well, I want to be a black male siren. There you go.
You just want to go the Diablo route.
Yeah.
Where you can just pick your class and then pick your gender like they did in the third
Yeah.
game. Did they do that in the previous games?
Nope.
Yeah, so it was just the third game
Yep.
that did that. I think it was well done in the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just because it's more equal that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
with you
get
on
like more female characters that are outside of like
Well, if we do
I mean
gender neutral classes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But like not just okay, if you're gonna be female, oh you have to be like the sexy thing, which hey, okay, I'm not complaining. They're pretty.
I always play females specifically so I can see what a game will do with it. And I will credit the Borderlands games. They treat everyone exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the characters refer to you as a guy, and then someone like Tina will call everyone, no matter who they are, hey gal, hey girl, hey shorty. So
Yeah, I did enjoy that, but I'm talking more of like the design itself. It seems like the most like I want to play some tomboys. And the most tomboy one I think would be Athena.
Athena's kind of. Well, and then there was the sheriff, but she did wear like little crop tops and short
That's
shorts.
true. Yeah, and Gage arguably, but she still wears a skirt.
Kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe it was a
so-
skort.
Yeah, I mean, she wore leggings underneath.
I
it.
want to be able to wander around with like Mordecai in like a mesh shirt and like hot pants.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Nipple
what I want.
rings.
Yeah, just
That's-
really like full makeup on him and just really going to town. That's what you need. Yeah,
Yeah, and again, yeah, with more customization with the outfits that they could wear, you know, like,
yeah,
hey, if I just wander in a t-shirt and jeans, then
yeah. Well, that's the thing is like. They had a bunch of customization options, but pretty much all the customization options just recolored the basic clothes they wore. They didn't have different models. And if we're going the MMO route, then you actually have to be able to change what your person looks like, because that's an expectation when you do an open world game like that.
And I feel like game technology now is, especially with like Fallout 4 and
Well, I mean, the game
Totally.
technology has been there for a long time. I mean, Saints Row
Yeah.
basically let you make any type of
Yeah,
stupid
exactly.
costume you want, and it all worked. Now, it didn't always work seamlessly.
No.
Sometimes the costumes weirdly interacted with themselves,
the
but
cutscenes where it's like you're wearing your cowboy boots and your mini skirt
yeah.
with your full-on beard.
Yeah, and like
Your Roman
like,
helmet.
your skirts popping through the wireframe for your coat. But
Yeah.
there were some times that the costumes didn't work. But if Saints Row can do it, and those games aren't even that well programmed, I don't see why Borderlands can't.
They're phenomenal, though.
They are. Oh, I love those games, but they are also broken.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they're meant to be.
Yeah,
If I ever get really stressed out or mad, I still pop in the last Saints Row.
love them all. They're so good. Anyway, I think we've pretty much talked out Borderlands because we've stopped talking about Borderlands at this point. I'm Mike Finkelstein,
I'm Becky.
I'm Josh Shaver.
and we will see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.
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 Bye.